for today's cup of coffee with scream.
Cup of coffee.
More screaming.
More screaming.
All kinds of screaming. It's just a different day with different scream.
Yeah.
What if we could have like different screams for different days? Just that today is the
It's you know that meme that I showed you the other day with the moos?
Yes.
Moo.
Yeah.
Moo.
Moo.
Moo. Moo.
It's just like,
Moo.
And I actually meant to go down the rabbit hole to try to figure out what the hell is wrong with my mic, and I didn't get to it because there were so many other rabbit holes to travel.
It's okay.
It is.
I've been traveling down rabbit holes too.
Yeah. But now we'll tell you over for the weekend. We're going to tell you about a channel that I found a few days ago that is phenomenal. But we will save that for the weekend. It's simple. It's ASMR-ish. I just adore this man.
I think it full on falls into the line of ASMR.
It probably does. I mean, you think about it. This one video here has over 8 million views because it's good and it's simple.
People
and
use
it's
these,
pure.
People use these to sleep.
Yeah.
They sleep to these.
Yeah. So, but we'll save that for the weekend.
Yeah.
We got one more day of the scream of this week.
Loves it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that a lot of people have already heard that there was a gentleman that was a CEO of a major insurance company that was Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield that got unalived.
Mm-hmm. It's all over the news and
it
TikTok.
Doesn't make sense.
No, people are like... did they ever arrest the dude? Did they ever find out who it was?
Well, that was what does not make sense. Because the individual that's in question, the suspect, was there on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, there was another photo that was released in like a Starbucks or something that everybody's like, it's the same person. It may be and it may not be.
Well, the original dude had his face covered up.
Right.
So the only thing you could see was like the top of his nose bridge and his eyes.
Right.
And eyebrows. That was it.
The dangers of internet sleuths.
Yeah.
Because some of them can be good, some of them cannot. And you have to be... Because an accusation can totally destroy somebody's life.
Yeah, that's all, and that's all that it takes. Is an accusation now.
That's the reason it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Proof. And so that's one of those you've got to be really careful. Don't pile on the rabbit until you know all the facts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But people don't want to do that. They don't want to take the time to actually have critical thinking.
Until it's them.
And then they cancel culture shit.
Right, and it can ruin somebody's lives. It has ruined people's lives.
Yeah.
People have lost their jobs and everything like that. Because now, if somebody is truly guilty of something, have at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the ones that are truly guilty of high crimes and misdemeanors never seem to get punished. But that's on an earthly level. God is still God. That is the thing that's like, he has the last say on any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Even as far as he has a purpose for allowing what's going on now to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's break to make, like that one girl said on TikTok that I showed you.
Sure.
That's a really good analogy right there.
Uh-huh. Because it is a matter, a lot of times, if you get too full of pride goes before a fall.
Yeah. And that has been the theme for these past 2 days.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's just like we were reading there earlier as far as, you know, do not think yourself more highly than you should.
Yeah. Because we're just podlings.
It's just people. If you take away the money and the trappings of the money, you got people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, that's all it is.
Yeah. And it's like...
We're not God.
To be humble means that you don't think yourself greater than somebody, but you don't think of yourself as less than somebody either.
Right.
It's
Right.
just human, created in the image of God.
Mm-hmm.
But with this AI facial recognition and stuff like that, and with the internet sleuths, there's a lot of mistakes that can be made. And even with the AI recognition stuff, which is being touted about, there's mistakes that have already been made.
Like what? Like what? What exactly?
As far as the AI, it's like, oh, this is the person.
Oh,
And it was not.
right.
So there's a lot of legal stuff that goes with that.
That can get them into a lot of trouble.
Absolutely, it can get them into a lot of trouble.
Like
And it's just
literally,
like,
do you know how many? There's a lot of people that have the same eye shape.
yes. Yes, and that's what they were talking about with the facial recognition, that certain ethnicities, that there's more similarities, and that it's easier for the AI to make a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even eyewitness accounts can be very wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the police released the picture of, they had the camera footage at the time of the event, and like you said, the individual had their face covered, which is why it used to be illegal to wear masks in public. Because if somebody committed a crime, that you could recognize them.
Yeah.
And so that's been backtracked.
It has been since the coup shit, but I think they did that intentionally too.
Absolutely, they did it intentionally. And there's a lot of people that have used that to their advantage while they were committing criminal behavior. And then this other person that was in the Starbucks or wherever it was, and everybody's like, that's the same person. Maybe and maybe not. But for the police to release that photograph, don't think that the police are infallible, because they're very fallible.
Yeah.
Are there people sitting in prison today that are innocent? Yes. Is it the majority? No.
It's not the majority.
But
Also,
that's-
sorry about the cat coughing.
Yeah, it's just hell.
Ever since he poisoned himself, he's never been the same.
No, he's got some kind of issue with him. But, so, it's a weird thing. We are in totally uncharted territory. The thought of traveling any place and where you've got these cameras monitoring everything all the time. It's like the hall monitor. Again, this is a matter of cyber Satan. Oh, they did. Well, they did this. They didn't turn their blinker on. They did this. They was at the wrong place. They wasn't holding their mouth right.
Well, that's
Fuck that.
Well, that is certainly part of the cyber Satan.
Accuser of the brethren. You didn't do what I wanted when you wanted me to do it, and when I wanted you to do it. Free will?
Right. And it's like you're expecting everybody to do what you want to do right when you want to do it. That's childlike. That's childish thinking, not childlike thinking, childish thinking.
Yeah.
That is prideful,
Yeah.
arrogant. What else is it? Narcissistic?
Yeah.
I've been rebuking and binding that for the past 2 days.
Well, it's needed because we have an epidemic of it right now. We really do.
Because that's like, I'm going to go off topic just a little bit. Like with the old TikToks back in like, the Benjamin ARG and stuff like that. I could almost feel that energy that I had back then. And it's like that sense of pride and stuff like that. And it's like, I rebuke and bind that. I rebuke and bind that in the name of Jesus Christ. That was a bad time for me.
I understand that, but you've got to realize you're growing. It's a journey. That happens throughout life. If you don't have it doesn't have to be physical growing. If you are not growing on a spiritual level, a mental level, different things like that, you're stagnant. That's what causes people to truly get old and then to ultimately die. Especially as far as growing internally, growing spiritually. That's what we're supposed to do throughout the course of this life. So it's not just you. Give yourself some grace.
I try, but I also know I also know what is going on within me to a certain extent. So it's like, yeah, no.
Well, if you feel the need to hold yourself accountable, then do that too.
Yeah, and it's the same. It's similar shit that I experienced going on in me, or that I experienced going on with me at the time, and I now recognize it.
Right.
That's going on today, just on a huge fucking thing, and it's like, oh no, this is dangerous. This ain't good.
But the fact that you now have grown spiritually to where you can discern that's amazing. That's progress. That's good.
Yeah. Maybe it is. I hope.
Yeah. That's it.
But it's like, I don't understand why people cannot take a step. They're too I know why it is. They are flat out too prideful to look at themselves and be like, I need to not with this, like this sleuthing shit. Yeah, no, this is going to cause a lot of issues.
Yeah.
People have been falsely accused, falsely canceled online. Mm-hmm. This shit ain't good.
No, it's not. And it's a modern day witch hunt where all it takes is an accusation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there are real people, real lives on the opposite side of these screens, on the opposite side of the voices or the faces or the words or however the presentation is given. And it's like, this is why we always treat other people the way you would like to be treated. That's how we try to live daily.
Yeah.
But on something like this, to warn people, it's like, that's crazy. To find, even as far as people having the same names as somebody who did something, nefarious.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Do you know how many people have the same names?
Yeah.
That's like no joke. There's someone with oldest kid, my brother, over there in town over.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I thought that's got to be the same kid that has followed him, has shadowed him since he was born.
Yeah.
That would end up at the same doctors. That's odd.
Mm-hmm.
That's odd.
It's creepy. He's got a doppelganger out there. It's a clone.
To meet this person.
It's a clone. Yeah, and they need to become besties.
Yeah, that's weird. That's just weird. Now, I met that kid's mama when I was working at the health food store.
For real?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, years ago, and it was just like, oh, you're the one. Yeah. And
what made you give him that name?
God, it's the same thing that named it. Yeah, that's how that worked.
No. Okay.
Yeah, there's quite a few people that it's floating around from that time period that has that name. It's a biblical name, as you can imagine. Mm-hmm. So just interesting things like that. But and the fact that, going back to this CEO's untimely demise, and I think it's crazy trying to jump through hoops to use words and not use other words. I don't like being socially engineered. Try to herd me and I will buck every time.
That was like the vape commercial. It's like, fuck you, I will vape as much as I want, and I will smoke cigarettes as much as I want.
Yeah, because you're an adult. Yeah.
It's like that oppositional defiant disorder gene is coming up at me, and it's like, oh,
it's real. It is real. But come to find out that this company, Anthem, at one point, and even you've got to be discerning how you read these news stories also, that they had wanted to change one of their policies as far as the length of time that they would pay for a patient to be under anesthesia.
How do you dictate that?
Exactly.
You can't dictate that, because how they respond to the drug is how they respond to the drug. It's your responsibility as the doctor, as the med care professional, whatever the fuck, to take care of them. Not the other way around.
Yeah.
They are not supposed to accommodate you, the doctors, the insurance companies.
Right.
You're serving the patients.
Right. And that is what has happened to a lot of the healthcare, and that includes mental health care, is that they are having to modify their treatment so that they can get paid. That has has a bearing on diagnoses, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's the reason you've got some people that are misdiagnosed with anything and everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's how oldest brother ended up going a year some without fucking medication.
Uh-huh. Because they deemed it, oh, I'm sorry, you're poor, so you can't have this top dollar medicine.
Yeah.
That's the reality. Because those of us that are in rural areas, especially, and poverty areas, we have had socialized medicine for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. We all need to be our own herbalists.
Yeah. Well, that's the best thing that you can do, is learn to heal yourself. But anyhow, after this CEO's demise, they have said that they are reversing the decision that, I guess they're going to let the doctors do what they need to do. And they're backtracking. It's like, oh, well, we didn't mean this, but they did.
Yeah.
And that the response to this man's demise was not what they thought it would be. Because people that have been trying to get services are angry.
It was like, ding dong, the wicked witch is dead.
On some of it. And it's like, I'm not doing that. I don't know anything about the man. I know he had a family, and it's like,
no, I was saying that's how some of them are reacting.
That is how some people are reacting, because that is anger.
Yeah.
But what was also odd about it was that, I didn't pull up the exact story, but on some of the ammunition that was found on site, that it had words engraved into them.
Words engraved into them? What kind of words?
Well, that's what I was hoping you wouldn't ask. But
okay, never mind. You can tell me
afterwards. I pulled up the thing. I was mainly going to focus on the AI and the internet sleuths.
Well, tell me about. We'll just skip over whatever the words it was.
But like I said, the whole thing is very, very bizarre. And that it's like there was question as far as, his wife. There was something about inside stock trading. I had heard rumors of Nancy Pelosi.
A lot of scuttlebutt.
Absolutely. Internet scuttlebutt. The only thing that I know that is worse than internet scuttlebutt is jail scuttlebutt.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. If you ever want to, a fascinating exercise in rumors and the damage that they can do when you work with inmates, and the officers were just as bad as the inmates.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. Something could happen, and it was already all over the other side of the facility before you could even get back to the control room.
Yeah, because, in there, word spreads like wildfire.
Absolutely.
Gossip.
Never underestimate what you can whisper through an air vent.
Yeah. Well, shit.
Or a toilet.
I don't know how, but gossip, honestly, it spreads like, I don't understand how it spreads so fast.
That's why it's dangerous. Gossip is until you know truly what's going on. That's why assumptions, and that's exactly with these facial recognitions and different things like that. They are assumptions. It's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have hard evidence, especially when it's dealing with somebody's life.
Right.
And we can sit here and porch ponder anything and everything like we do, but ultimately, it's like this man had a family. He was a living, breathing human being. Don't know anything about him. I don't have to know anything about him. It's like...
Prayers go out to the family.
Murder is illegal.
Yeah.
By man's law and God's law. Yeah. But it was just like I said, the fact that everybody's doing the internet sleuth thing, and we've seen them do it with other stories, not just this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's dangerous.
Yeah. This is a bad time for gossip anyway, just due to the planetary alignments and stuff like that.
It is.
And recently, someone that I watch mentioned another YouTuber that big YouTubers used to watch. Her conspiracy theory is that he's AI. or whatever. And so she was going on about all that. It's a glorified gossip channel is what she is.
Oh, Lord.
And it's like, no joke, it's kind of like the new Wendy Williams. We all saw what we know what happened to Wendy Williams, and that was the hot topics. It was gossip. She full on admitted it was gossip.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just gossip is dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hurtful.
It doesn't matter who it's about either. It doesn't matter if it's a celebrity, just some normal person on the street. It doesn't really matter. Gossip is gossip.
It is. And as somebody that has been on the receiving end of assumptions and gossip and everything else, over stuff that I had no control over, nobody ever came to me and asked me.
They rarely do. They rarely ever go to the person that is being talked about,
Right.
and ask their side of the story.
Right.
There's multiple sides to every story, not
Always.
just one.
Always.
So
But with the, and I think that over in the UK and places like that they are more into and some of these large urban areas, I know that they're doing that with the AI, facial recognition and stuff like that. And there are some people, I know that that some of those cameras and stuff are coming down mysteriously.
ain't that sus?
Mm-hmm. I don't blame them. Not at all.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to live in a dystopian nightmare.
Literally. Nobody wants to live in Mirror's Edge where everything is constantly monitored.
Right.
You got the runners.
Right. Yeah.
They're the
And
ones
it's-
parkouring over the buildings trying to do whatever.
Yeah. And it's like, I wondered if there was some kind of, I don't know, cosmetic or something like that that had some kind of pigmentation to it that you could wear. I mean, you don't want to go out like the Blue Men. I mean, you could, but, you know.
There's fashion, actually. No joke. Paris Hilton was caught, like, she was sponsored by them and she wore it once for a photo.
Uh-huh.
And the pattern on it wigged out the camera so much that you couldn't see who she was other than the scarf.
Mm-hmm. There's
been multiple people wearing that.
It would not surprise me within the next little bit that somebody doesn't have a whole line of products, and then it'll be a matter of, okay, who can come up with products to outwit the AI, and then the programmers to try to outwit those that are trying to outwit. And it becomes another clusterfuck.
What do they do with the people that wear prosthetics?
That's a good question.
Like there was this person called Alexis Stone. They shape-shifted into other people with prosthetics and stuff like that.
Was that the lady that used to work for the CIA or the FBI or something?
No, this is some makeup artist.
Oh, okay. I mean, there was that one lady that we watched, and she had shown how she had created masks and stuff. And everybody has wondered over the past several years, because there's things like that is not the same as far as earlobes changing and chins and all this stuff. And it's just like,
That's like the technology of plastic surgery or whatever the fuck is going on right now. These people it's aging backwards. And that's like, you ain't supposed to do that.
No, there's so much stuff that's going on. And it's like,
it feels sinister.
I was talking to therapists today, and we were agreeing, because our therapy sessions, it's about like me sitting here talking with a kid, and the fact that human brains are not designed to take in as much information as they are currently.
No.
We are being bombarded. It is overwhelming neural pathways. A lot of times it causes emotional numbing. And so people are not always responding the way that they normally would.
No. I mean, this is overstimuli.
It
out
is.
the ass.
It is. And especially with subjects that are so, God, just depressing. You can only dive down so deep before you have to come up for air lest you drown.
Mm-hmm. That's like, there's some stories. There was a story that I heard on TikTok earlier, and it was about some some woman that was being hidden away like as a secret relationship or whatever, and then to find out like dude didn't love her or whatever, was going to marry this other person.
That's horrible.
It was a whole novel story thing, so it was fiction, but I could feel that that the anger, the sadness, all that. Sure. I could feel it building up in me, and it's like I'm not. I can't watch it.
No,
can't listen to it.
As one of those people that has had an interesting life, I have no need for external drama at this point. You know, it's like I've been down the rabbit holes. I know what it is when it is weighing heavily on my spirit and on my mind. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason that months back, Kid and I, rather than doing the constant barrage of negative, no, to do the uplifting. Mm-hmm. Because I trust even with any plan that the devil makes, God's always he's 2 steps ahead.
Yeah, he's already got everything planned out, and it's just, waiting for puzzle pieces to fall into.
Right. And as far as, God bless them, these white hat weaponized autisms, and they have superpowers, even if they don't realize it right now. Do I believe that some of these people can come up with stuff that we can't even fathom? Yes, I do.
Oh, the flavors of autism are amazing.
And especially some of these young men that have been so maligned and so demonized for so many years. And I pray for those kids because I've birthed 2 of them. And as a mother, to sit and listen and watch these children suffer, and because of how society has failed them, and that has got some anger. But to put that anger in a positive manner,
and
which is to constantly try to encourage and uplift them.
Yep, and you do your best.
Because, like I said, it's easy to beat the shit out of people, especially right now. It's low-hanging fruit. Mm-hmm. But to always have a message of hope. That's because we have a message of hope. Mm-hmm. Not just our little channel. This is why, as far as, and it's like everybody's like, you get talking about God a lot. Absolutely. All the time, every day. That is our culture.
Our lives literally revolve around him.
They do. Because when you so far down that the only place you got to go is up, you hang on to Christ.
Yeah. Like, seriously, he has brought us out of some dark holes, out of some deep depression.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is something that we have been open and honest about that as far as sharing, because we want somebody else that if they come along and they're having some depression, they may have seasonal affective disorder, they may have situations going on in their world, and some of our viewers do have those things because they have told and they have shared those things with me. And when someone trusts you enough to share their pain with you, that's a gift.
That is a gift.
But not everybody recognizes that. No. I do. We do.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
there is no way I would beat somebody down, especially not in today's world.
When you're sharing pain, it is a very vulnerable thing.
Sure it is.
And so it takes a lot of trust.
Yeah. To
do that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking about the people. How do you classify the people that trauma dump?
The ones that trauma dump.
I mean, they're piteous.
They are piteous. But it's also one of those that they need there's a proper time and place to do that, Mm-hmm. And like I said, when we do that, it's not a matter of pity me. And I don't want anybody's pity. I want empathy. Most people don't want pity. They want empathy.
Yes.
Somebody to sit there and go, I get it.
Empathy, compassion.
And I will tell you, emails. If you need to email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. I've worked on that for days.
Are you caught up now?
I am.
Oh,
I need
good.
to go and on the Rumble thing as far as the notifications. It's like, no, I don't want this. Don't tell me. I'll go over there and look at it. And it's like, no. So, and there's one that I haven't responded to yet from October, and Charlie, I do apologize, honey. I do. Was nothing personal in any way.
Mm-hmm.
I just get overwhelmed. I just get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But within this, and these weaponized autisms, and it will be amazing to see what they can do. I don't want them to become nihilistic. I don't want them to become black-pilled, because there is always hope. And to tell these kids there is a way out. I can't see it. But I believe in them. It's worth fighting for.
Mm-hmm. And with this world, it's very easy to become nihilistic.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy to become black-pilled, and that's when you just got to take your head out of the sand that is the internet, and go out and just take a walk in nature or something.
Absolutely.
If you're one of those people that need music, put on some meditation music and walk.
Mm-hmm.
Use an iPod or something else. Don't bring your phone with you.
Whatever.
Use an MP3 player or a CD player or something.
Whatever is good and pure and lovely, think on those things.
Yeah. That's there was one time that I took an edible that Omega gave me.
Uh-huh.
And we were out in nature, and that was the first time that I ever felt true peace and amazement.
Well,
because I was out there looking at the sun, looking at how it shines through the trees, and just actually seeing the colors and being like, God, you made this.
Yes, but be able to do that without any external substance.
That's the thing. Getting to that point again.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, that's even the times, taking walks without it, just amazing.
Yeah.
Because I'm observing God's creation.
Yes. But you can
and being
do
in
that.
awe.
It's a matter of learning how to see. And it was just like JJ over on X. She does some incredible jewelry. Just fabulous. She's a fabulous human being. And, because some of the different stones, and she was explaining to me, I asked her about something that she had created and what the stone did. And she said that on her website, that it does have the description as far as the different stones and the properties of the stones and stuff. Mm-hmm. And she said that at one point when she was creating her jewelry and stuff, and I think she was in New York at the time, and she was trying to edify people about the different properties of the stones, that they didn't want to hear it. It was just either it appealed to their eye or not. And I'm thinking, that's so we're a species that has eyes but doesn't see. We have ears but we don't listen.
So they wanted it just for the aesthetic reason. Mm-hmm. See, when you say it's learning to see, I'm like, what do you mean by that? Because it's like for example, the crystals. I don't like them just because they're pretty. I want ones that actually work and help. And that's actually for once paying attention to the detail that is in God's creation.
Right. But also when you have somebody that is an artist and that is their vision and that is their work, that is any piece of art, it is imbued with a little bit of that artist in there.
Mm-hmm.
And the time and the talent and the effort, and to have that not thoroughly appreciated. And that's common. That's just humans.
It is. But at the end, you also gotta, I don't know, personally, I've had to step back and be like, okay, it may not be their taste, but at least they do appreciate the talent and time that went into it.
Mm-hmm.
There's stuff that I showed my ex-best friend, and she's like, yeah, I don't want that. But you like it, so I'm happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she told me all the time.
Yeah, but that's also one of those narcissistic, backhanded compliment, insult things. And some people just, I don't know.
I sort of just rolled with it. That was
me. Yeah,
me.
that's all you can do on some of that.
But I love art. even if it's bad art, like I don't understand Jackson Pollock's art in the slightest, but I enjoy the technique he put into it. I love...
It was a pendulum. It was a paint pendulum. How cool is that?
Like, there are some pieces of art that he has that I genuinely do like.
Yeah.
Some of them look muddy, which aren't the ones that I, that I gravitate to. The time that it takes to make art, that's like with your art. I love it. Because it's like, and because we're both artists, and it's just that the brush strokes, the time, and preciseness, and sometimes or the erraticness of it.
There was a method to the creation of most art, and a lot of times people don't. It's just like, I like it or I don't like it, and it's like that has nothing to do with it. And when I was going through art, college, that was one of the instructors. He said it doesn't matter whether you like it or not. Is it effective? Does it convey the meaning that the artist intended it to convey?
Right.
And it gave me a totally different understanding of art. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be something that you would put, if you want something that's just to hang on your wall that's pretty, go to Walmart.
Yeah.
That's not always what happens when you get individual, original, one-of-a-kind art.
No, because you're getting...
I'm not talking about the elephant shit stuff. That is not art. That's biohazard.
That's disgusting. That's what that is. That's like the girl that pukes on canvases and
puked on... People try to drink their coffee. Oh.
You're talking about, like, elephant shit.
Yeah, well...
So it's like, that ain't art to me. That ain't art. That's vile.
But is it a representation of that individual's internal world? And which is really sad. It's really sad.
It is sad. It's doof.
I don't want to live in a dystopian whatever. And I trust that God has a plan. God has a plan. Final thoughts, kid?
Instead of looking for the ugliness, look for the beauty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you said earlier, focus on all things that are love, light, positive.
Sure.
Hopeful. What do you have to add? What else do you have to add?
No, that's it. It's a matter of where your mind goes, your spirit goes. And it's like, I know me, and I know when I've had enough as far as delving into the depths of the sewer. I don't have to. Mm-hmm. I don't. No. You can only, you can look into the abyss and the abyss looks back. You got to be careful of that.
Yeah. Well, no joke. Some of those rabbit holes, it's like, you go too deep and that shit sticks with you for days.
Yeah, it can.
And when it sticks with you for days, that's literally almost like trauma. It's, ooh.
Yeah. Well, it's to recognize problems is one thing. If you recognize problems, then you try to find solutions. And if problems without solutions, that is what is black pilling people. Mm-hmm. That is where some of us have to back out of the rabbit hole. Serenity prayer. Mm-hmm. Grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Some things are just flat out above my pay grade.
Well, that's the thing. You say that sometimes there's no solution. That prayer in of itself is a solution.
Yes. It's a God-sized problem.
Yeah.
And it does not need coddling. I can go and deal with cats. That's my job.
Why did they all pile up on me?
Because you're warm. You want to tell them where we can be found?
We can be found on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube at Orlando's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also check her out on X, previously known as Twitter. Orlando, COCWS. She posts cool shit on there.
Sometimes.
Seriously, I really enjoy her page. Go check it out.
Sometimes, it depends. Know that you are loved. Mm-hmm. If you need to contact us, go ahead and give us an email. cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. It's just all together. No spaces, no caps, no nothing like that.
She's caught up on the email.
So you can do that. If you just need to vent, that's perfectly fine. If you need prayer and you don't feel comfortable in the comments, and I get that.
Somebody to talk to.
Yeah, somebody that gives a damn, because we do. Know that you are loved. Treat other people the way that you would like to be treated. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Yes.
Bye.